This is pretty ridiculous that Uber is now delivering prescription drugs. As you can see, Uber enters the pharmaceutical delivery arena with new service. The ride-sharing company's new venture aims to capture customers who already use the service to get to their doctor or medical provider. So going down here, there's a lot of things that Uber has been doing that's really interesting. One is called Uber Health. So let's say if you want to Uber to the doctor's office and come back and everything. And in addition to that, as you can see right here, Uber Health is now offering same-day delivery of prescription medications. Delivery services right now are just getting more and more popular that you can just sit at home and have pretty much anything delivered, whether it's groceries through Instacart or food through, like, say, Uber Eats or Postmates or whatever. And it seems like there's now a competitive market for prescription medications. You can see right here, Amazon expanded its reach into the business of pharmaceutical sales with the launch of RX Pass, which provides a range of prescription drugs for a monthly fee. For better or for worse, and I could probably do an entire other video about this, I think that the prescription world is starting to get a lot more competitive with lowering costs, which I actually think is a good thing. I'm gonna be honest. You look at Mark Cuban's company, Cost Plus Drugs, offering tons of prescription medications for super, super cheap. I think that the competitive nature of this, I actually think is a good thing. But anyway, getting back to this, today's news furthers Uber Health's mission to optimize how patients access care. The platform allows connectivity to the key services providers require to address patient needs, including prescription delivery, stress-free rides, and soon, the delivery of healthy food and over-the-counter medicine for those who need it most, including Medicare Advantage and Medicaid beneficiaries. Now, I'm going to be honest, I really like this. There is one minor con, and my dedicated subscribers probably know what I'm about to say. The only con I'm going to say is that Uber is now continuing to get even bigger than ever before, having its hands in so many different industries. I mean, I've probably done 12 or 13 videos now talking about all these new features Uber's rolling out, whether it's Uber Explorer, where you can get like concert tickets. There's now even Uber Travel, where you can book like traveling stuff. There's Uber Charter, where you can rent a party bus. There's Uber, I think it's called Shop and Go, whatever, or I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically rivaling Instacart. You, of course, have Uber Eats. You, of course, just have regular Uber, right? The list goes on and on and on. And as Uber gets bigger, Lyft is getting a lot smaller. That's a very, very tricky subject. I've already done a bunch of videos about that because right now things are not looking good. And I don't like that Uber's getting bigger. And I don't like, especially, that Lyft is getting smaller. That being said, though, going now to like the exact focus of this video, I really do like this idea. I think the competitive nature now that exists with pharmaceutical companies and drugs and everything, I think is a very good thing. Again, this could be a whole other subject for a whole other video, but I think especially with Mark Cuban's company, Cost Plus Drugs, he's literally saving thousands, hundreds of thousands, potentially even millions of lives by making things way cheaper where people can actually afford it. And it seems like Amazon is now starting to approach that as well. And so I think with this, with Uber's approach to this, I think it just makes it easier for a lot of people to receive the pharmaceutical drugs. I mean, even when it comes to just driving to the store, which seems very simple for a lot of people, it can also be very difficult, especially for the elderly, for anyone handicapped or disabled or whatever. Getting to and from, let's say, CVS to pick up your prescriptions is a lot easier said than done. And so I think this is actually a really good approach. I think this is just scraping the surface, honestly, when it comes to kind of like on-demand health, especially here in this country where, let's be honest, our healthcare system is broken is a beyond understatement, right? For anyone who's ever had to buy their own health insurance, and for me being both a YouTuber and musician, I have to pay for health insurance out of pocket. It's a nightmare. I'm going to be honest. It's a nightmare, I will say that, right? And so I think this is an amazing approach to make it easier for people to get their prescriptions. Like I said, though, things are far from perfect, right? Take Uber Connect, for example. In case you don't know, Uber Connect allows you to send a package from point A to point B, right? Think of it like a quick on-demand mail delivery service. One big side effect they did not expect is a lot of people have used it to ship drugs, and that causes a lot of legal issues, right? I mean, if let's say as in the Uber driver, you get pulled over and some guy or some officer is like, hey, what do you have in the bag? And he goes, oh, I don't know, I'm just delivering it to this person's address. And they open it up and it's a bunch of drugs. Could you get charged for that? More likely than not, yes, even though you did nothing wrong. Going now with the pharmaceutical drugs, the only thing that would worry me about this, even though I think that so far this is an amazing service, is as the Uber driver, if I have to then, let's say, go into CVS and pick up their prescription, what stops somebody, like say someone who's an addict or who wants to sell it, whatever their motive is, from them taking and using your prescription drugs for themselves? I know this is a bit of like a Murphy's Law territory, but I think it's always important to look at every side of the coin, right, in terms of the pros and the cons. That being said, though, which I feel like is a very, very small percentage, I mean, it could be a very quick fix, or let's say the bag, you can easily tell if it's tampered with. If, let's say, your prescriptions come to your house, you notice the bag's already been opened, or whatever, of course, then you're like, okay, you have to report the driver. So I feel like it's not going to be a huge issue, I have to be honest. But overall, like I said, I'm just a massive fan of this. There's been some features Uber has rolled out where I'm like, all right, it's whatever. But this one, I think, is an absolute hit, as helps a lot of people out.